Greetings, I'm Hondo, and this is my review of the Silktone Fuzz. The signal chain for this one is going to be a little bit different from some of my last videos. I'm using my brand new Seldon Scout into a brand new Gallien-Kruger Legacy 800 amp. Everything is dry, no EQ, and no compression. And if you're interested in any of the gear that I'm using, there will be links in the description down below, and those are affiliate links for Zounds. So if you use those links to buy any of your gear, it helps out the channel quite a lot, and I would greatly appreciate it if you would use them. The volume knob controls the overall volume for the pedal. The fuzz knob controls the amount of drive that you're getting. And then this cleanup knob actually cleans the fuzz up a bit and makes it sound a little bit more like an overdrive. And it kind of acts like an input control going into the fuzz in the same way that rolling your volume back on your bass would act. The classic/raw switch controls the filtering of the signal, where the classic signal is a little bit more filtered in the top and the bottom, and then the raw version is just full blast with no filtering whatsoever. But the real star of the show here is the bias knob and the LED meter. The knob lets you get several different types of fuzz sounds out of the pedal using the bias, as you could hear in the sound clips earlier. And then the LED meter actually lets you figure out where to set the bias knob in order to get your sounds consistent from show to show. This is a germanium based fuzz, And although these fuzzes sound really great, they do have a little bit of a downside in that they're affected pretty significantly by temperature. And what this LED meter does, along with the bias knob, is that it lets you see exactly where the bias knob needs to be number-wise. So you can say, if you enjoy your fuzz sound at like 4.5, right? You could use the bias knob to always get the pedal to be sitting at 4.5 regardless what the temperature is, and it's more convenient than kind of just sitting the knob in a particular place on the pedal, because given the different temperatures that you might be playing in, that particular place on the knob might not always sound the same. So the combination of the bias knob and the LED meter is like the ultimate way to get your tones very similar from night to night, which is super convenient. And then the other really cool thing about this pedal is that it has a pickup simulator in it. So unlike a lot of other fuzzes, you can actually put this fuzz anywhere you want in the signal chain and then use the bias knob and the cleanup knob to get the type of fuzz sound you want. So that's super cool for experimentation and kind of being flexible. Silktone sent this pedal over to me to review, so big thanks to them. And also a big shout out to Matt from Ambient Trash for rocking out with me on the intro song. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel. I'm going to throw a link up in the corner, and there'll be one down in the description too. With the combination of the classic and the raw switch and then the bias control, this fuzz has quite a few sounds in it, as you could hear earlier. In the classic mode, this feels to me like it takes a little bit of a hit on the low end, but in exchange you get just a really nice kind of classic, as silly as that sounds, but it's kind of a classic type of fuzz sound. It's got a really nice kind of tight sound to it with a really good mid-range that sounds pretty different from a lot of the other fuzzes that I've used. And it's kind of the sound, when I think of bass fuzz, it's the sound that I hear in my head 80% of the time. And then in the raw mode, it gives you like a little bit more of an aggressive, like upper mid-range sound. And then the lows come back for the most part. So it's kind of a fatter type of sound. And overall, it sounds kind of like bigger and bassier and a little bit more aggressive. And with those two controls and your ability to kind of like dial in exactly what fuzz you want at any given time using the bias knob and the LED meter, it's almost like having 2 or 3 fuzzes in one pedal. And this pedal right now is about $250 US, which makes this a pretty solid deal and a definite recommendation for me if you're looking for a bass fuzz. So I've had this pedal for a while now, and I've been messing with it quite a bit. It's probably become one of my favorite go-to kind of fuzzes. It's probably in my like top 3, I would say. A couple of sounds really stuck out to me on this one. One was running this through my Fractal audio AxFx into an SVT type of setup and playing it with a pick. That was really cool. I also ran this into the GK with the Octave in front of it, or an Octaver pedal. I think I used the MXR Vintage Octave Deluxe. And I used this on a kind of the gated setting, so the bias was pretty low, and I thought it sounded like a fantastic kind of synthy type of vibe. And the last thing I did was use this again with the Fractal audio, but I used a filter with an expression pedal running into a really big reverb in stereo, and also used a looper to kind of put 2 parts together, and it was like instant Blade Runner Vangelis type sounds with just the bass and the AxFx and this pedal. So I really wanted to share that with you. Let me know what you think of all these sounds down in the comments, and I hope you're staying happy and staying healthy, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy.